I just picked up some of these blinds from Lowe's. They're 2-inch faux wood blinds. And we are going to update the old brown ones that have been in my daughter's room. And then hopefully brighten up the room. So in this package, at the very top, we have that front piece that covers up the very top of the blinds. We have instructions. Then we have our adjusting wand here. Oh, you want to be careful. I'm opening this with a knife. This is a pretty dull knife, but if you were to do that with a sharp one, you could cut the cord, so just be careful. Up top here, you have your hardware tucked in. Kind of difficult to get out. Our plastic pieces. Is that the plastic? That's to attach this board right here. Then we also have an optional way of hanging our blinds. This is the system we're going to be using. This mounting hardware there. And then we have the end caps for the blinds, and then the end caps for the face front. Here we go. So if you look at these mounting hardware pieces, they have a little lip that you can pop open. So I'm going to pop it open with my knife, and then the blind can come out. And that's what you'll see me do as I remove it from the wall. First we'll take off these old blinds here. You can see that the blinds that are currently on there are all warped up. Let's disconnect this right here for now. Here's that hardware piece I was telling you about. Pop that open. Over here on this side, pop it open too. There we go. And what I'd like to do is stow the blinds before I pull them out. Because then that'll happen. Yeah. Anyhow, watch your feet. Whew.
Dusty.
Yeah, I know. So just pull the blinds tight before you open up these brackets. As you can see what happened here, the bracket bent and it came out. I'm just going to take out the old hardware. Alright, now we're going to put in the new hardware. Got one piece. Where are my screws at? Here they're still in. Yeah, there they are. You got to really check this upper track here because they took all the hardware. It might be hard to find. And these are marked left hand, right hand. If you can take a quick look in there, you want to make sure you have them positioned correctly. This one's going over here on the left hand side. Okay, now we can take our blinds, and I'll pull out all the little shipping pieces. Now all this plastic dust you see in here is from Lowe's. When I got them cut, the plastic stays floating inside the box, so you'll want to be mindful of that. Now the adjusting wand right here goes on the front side, so when you stick these in, make sure that this hole for the adjusting rod is facing you. So now I'll just take this, put it in on one side, make sure we're not catching any of the blinds in the process. Put it in on the other side too. Lock them into place. There we go. Now this one is a little bit heavy, so I may need to use this hardware piece to help prop it up right in here. You guys see how that works? That's gonna go. This is like a backwards view. I think I didn't look at the directions. But let's keep going. All right, so we have these little plastic pieces right here. These are marked with the top. It's probably hard to see. Does it even show?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we'll take this piece, the line goes up. You put them in and then you twist them 90 degrees so that you evenly spread out the weight. Okay, that's there. Let's open up our little adjuster wand. There's that piece. Let's get rid of the trash here. And then this piece comes together. Just line up the hardware, push it together. There we go. This is gonna pop in over here, like we mentioned earlier. Just rotate it until you get it well seated. There we go. You heard that pop.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we need to adjust the length. But before I do that, I think I'm going to figure out what's going on here. So let's take a quick look at our instructions. These are the instructions to shorten the blinds. We don't want that. Any more instructions in here? That's all we get? Oh no, here's the other ones right here. Installing blinds. Okay, good. Ah, here we go. For blinds 31 inches and wider, install support brackets. Okay. Well, I don't know what they expect me to support it with, but let's take a look. Hold on the blinds here. We're going to close them so that hopefully we're not blinding you. Yeah, it looks like I'm just going to put in some screws, but the screws are going to be just free, just hanging, because I'm going to mount them upwards. But if I were to mount this all the way up to the ledge, it would be like that, and that's a little much. So I'll be right back.
And then?
Yeah, go ahead. You have a pencil? You have a pencil. All right, so I'm going to put this thing back in. Super simple to open the clips back up. I'm just going to do this so that I can put in my support. Right, so this thing, I'm going to put it all the way to the back, and then I'm just going to mark it with a pencil on how low it needs to hang. That's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to take my blinds out, lift them all the way up. Lessons learned. Now there's a piece of metal that goes along this corner edge, right? And so right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to pierce and puncture the metal. There it goes. And remember, I'm not going all the way up, I'm just going enough to keep the bracket supporting the blinds. I could put a spacer in there, but I think this will work just fine. There we go. Put a couple more in there. All right, that should be good enough. Let's try to place it back in. There we go. I have a pretty wide gap there. You see the gap right there?
Yeah.
And then it's shorter here on that side, so I think we're going to lift it up a little bit more. All right, let's give that one a try. That's good. Okay, now that that's on there, we are going to put our face piece on. That's this piece with the plastic clips we installed earlier. And I'm just going to clip it from the top to bottom. Clip on top, push onto the bottom. There we go. Use my fingers to make sure that it's nice and centered. Now we're going to put on our little plastic pieces here. And these just go on the ends into pre-molded slots, and it gives it more of a finished look. There we go. This one here now. All right. Now that that's all in place, we have a couple more pieces that we need to install. These are the end caps that go right here on this, but these blinds are going to be longer than we need them to be. So here are the pieces. Good. So now what I'm going to do is lower the blinds and see how many pieces we have. See, we have a lot left over. And you can shorten these blinds by up to 24 inches or 12 inches depending on the brand you bought, or not brand, but the style. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I have 18 before I bottom out over here, but I want to take into consideration the gaps here. So I probably want to leave another 2, maybe 3 just to be safe. And then I'll take off 15 of these. And so to take them off, I'll show you what we'll do. We're going to take this and pull this out all the way.
Oh, dang. It's half of my bed.
I know. Okay, now we're going to pull out these slats. Again, we're going to take out 15. If you kind of just twist them back and forth as you pull them out, then they tend to come out a little easier. Four. 5. 'What is this, 9 or 10?
That one I think is 10.
Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh.
We'll double. Count these and see if we have 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ah, dang it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is slip out this piece of plastic. There's tape holding it in place in a couple places. So I'll just slide it here and pull it out. Now, according to the directions, it says that we can shorten them up to 24 inches. Let's see here. Yep, up to 24 inches. Now I did have the situation once where I had more than 24 inches just because of the stock they had. If that's the case, there are some knots in here. You see these knots? All you would do is you'd pull out the difference in 24 inches, tie a new knot, and then snip it off. I don't think I have 24 inches worth here, This looks more like maybe 16 inches. So I'm just going to proceed with trimming out all the excess, and then we will tuck in the cords, and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so on these cords, some of these don't have the pull cord. This is just a little supporting ladder, right? If I go over here to the sides, you can see that you have that supporting ladder, but on the outsides of the ladder, there are 2 pull cords. You do not want to cut the pull cords. Those are the cords that I'm touching with my index finger and my thumb, right? Those you want to leave alone. If you cut those, then the suspension system isn't going to work. All these ladder cords do is hold your blinds into place. And so what I'm going to do is start trimming these down. I'll start over here, right? So I have the cord that's supporting the blind, okay? And I'm going to count 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to cut below that 3rd square. Again, do not cut the pull cord wires or cords. There we go. So all this needs to come out. I'll have to pop out this little plug. There we go. And then the excess pieces will fall out. And so now I just have a piece of this ladder structure here, and I just need to trim that away. And there's a whole bunch of loops on the sides, and I'll trim those out. And being careful not to cut that special cord. Oh, that was a close one. There we go. The cords that are remaining, I'm just going to trim. There we go. And then I'll also trim the little loops that are being held onto the sides. And you'll want to refer to your directions. They even have a video online on how to do this. Okay. Good. All right, now I'm going to go through and do the same thing over again. No narration this time. Fun fact, my daughter is the one recording, and she's actually helped me record since she was just a little baby girl. Alice. She's nodding her head, you can't see it. 1, 2, 3. In fact, if you care, I had a Kickstarter project years ago. My very first one, Fish One Outless Gear Tie, and she actually did the filming there.
Did?
Yeah. You sat on the hood of my car and ran the camera.
Oh, yeah.
That was 2013. So, how long ago was that?
It's 2020.
7 years ago? You're 14, so you were 7 years old?
Oh my gosh.
And then you'll get to clean up all the mess that I'm making.
Okay.
Now this knife is super old. I mentioned that earlier. I've probably been carrying the same knife for 10 years. So I'm a little, I guess you call it, careless with it. But I know it's not going to cut me because it's not sharp. So just please be careful. Good. 1, 2, 3.
My light thing is not going to be covered by my blinds anymore.
What light thing? Oh, yeah. We're getting close. One, two, three. All right, now that that's all done, what I'm going to do is take the two remaining pieces. Well, first I'm going to shorten this up. So let's shorten this a bit. Okay. So the two remaining pieces from that ladder, can you see me, Liz?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tuck them together from underneath, and then I'm going to poke them through that hole that the same plastic insert sits in. So I'll pull this out, give myself some room. I'll poke this through to the top. This is why we removed that plastic piece earlier. I'm going to pull it tight, and then I'll just shove that plastic piece back in. And that tucks away the excess cord. That cord is simply going to sit inside the track, right there. We're going to do the same thing all the way down. Get my little ladder piece, put it on each side. Pull my plug, stick it through. There we go. All right, good. Let's double check. It goes all the way down here. Let's readjust all these. There we go. And if you look over here, we have a few blinds left over. That's fine. I could take those out and try to trim it. But what I've noticed is if you try to make it exact, when you push this bar all the way down, it kind of has a spring to it. And so you're finding that last little distance. For me, it's easier just to leave a few on there. So now that that's done, we're going to slip our plastic piece back in. From this side. There you go, and you can see all the little strings are getting tucked in as I go along. We'll put in our little plastic connectors. Oops. One on this side. Good. And then one on this side. All right, and that's that. No loose strings hanging out. We trimmed it to the right size. The adjuster bar works. Now we're just making sure everything's seated inside the little slots. Put our support bar up there. We got our piece up here. Looks like we got a little bit of install to do. For some reason it doesn't want to stay on there. We'll figure that out. But there you have it. Updated blinds.